today's activity is we are looking at the relative densities of liquids. Now, that does sound a little bit complicated, but actually it's not any experiment that you haven't seen done before. Okay, what we're going to do is, and I've been cleaning out the cupboards, we're going to look at a couple of liquids that are actually heavier or are denser than other liquids. So I have ordinary water here, but I've put a bit of food dye in it so you can see it easier. I have some quite old golden syrup. There's a little bit of golden syrup in the bottom here. I've got some glucose syrup that was so old that, I don't know whether you can see this, but I had to lever the lid off with a knife because it was so old. And then I've also got a very old tin of malt extract liquid that the best before date says 2016. Now, obviously, you can use what you have at home, and all the instructions are in a great PDF on our website, Little Scientists at Home, and there's a little PDF with a cheat sheet of all the different liquids that you can use for this experiment. We have some oil, and I've also got some treacle, and I also have a couple of spoons which I've actually put in some hot water to make it easier to get the syrup out or the treacle out. Now, what I've got here is a nice glass, and I'm just going to start by ladling some of the treacle into the bottom of my glass. Here we go. And you can see that nice, rich, dense liquid going into my glass there. Now I'm going to add some oil. Now I'm not sure what's going to happen. Do you know what's going to happen? Is the oil going to sink to the bottom, or is it going to float on top? Let's have a look. There we go. The oil is floating on top of our denser syrup, treacle. That's quite a good distinction. Okay, and then I'm going to add my coloured water, and we will see what happens. There we go. Leaving it to settle for a bit. And although we've got some mixing going on here, it's not too bad. I might be a little bit more gentle when I add my water, and that might stop my syrup and my water from mixing. There we go. We've got a few air bubbles in there as well. That air bubble. There we go. There we are. Okay, so the denser the liquid, the densest liquid is at the bottom. Then I've got my water, and then I've got my oil. What we could do is we could add different colours of liquid all the way up and different densities. What I do have here is a cork and a Lego brick. So let's see, first of all, what the cork does. So my cork is actually floating on my top layer. What about my Lego brick? My Lego brick is sinking somewhat. Let's see what happens if I push it down. Push it down. Ah! And there we go. I don't know whether you can see that, but my Lego brick is floating on top of the red water here. So it's less dense than the water. So least dense, slightly more dense, denser, denser, and denser. Why don't you have a go at home? See whether you can make some layers of rainbow water, or have a go in your centre, and send me a picture of the results. We'd love to see it on Facebook, or you can email us. I've been experimenting a bit more, and if you have a look now at our rainbow water, I'm not sure whether you can see that easily. I'll hold this up. We've had a little bit of blending, but if you can see, we have a dark layer at the bottom with the treacle. We have a slightly lighter layer, which was glucose syrup. We have some salted, some very salty water, cabbage juice coloured water. Then we've got some red and some oil on the top. For a little while, my Lego piece did confuse me a bit, because my Lego piece had actually sunk to the bottom, but then I realized that the glucose syrup was actually sticking it to the bottom, and it's now since floated freely back up to the top again. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers in. And what I'm going to try next is a few of my other syrups and maybe some darker, denser oil to see whether I can get a few more layers in my liquid.